What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're just cleaning up the shop a little bit today because over the course of the past week and a half, we have been working on my Nissan R35 GTR, doing a little update, a little refresh. It seems like you guys don't really like the whole giveaway build style videos, so we haven't filmed a whole lot. Maybe you guys would rather watch me sweep up the floor, do something
more
like
relatable,
that.
right?
It's a little bit more relatable, but we did film some stuff with this thing. And this thing went through an insane transformation. And this is Project Build giveaway number 13. And we're actually doing 30 times entries for the first week only. But in this video, we're gonna take this car from basically this right here to this right here. So let's get to work. Garrett has went home for the day, so the next thing that we need to do with this build is actually pull the engine out of it because it has a check engine light for a P0011, which is a timing chain, basically a camshaft position sensor misalignment. So one cam is reading this, the other one's like that. It's good for most of the time, but essentially what happens with these R35s is when they get a little bit higher in mileage is the timing chain actually stretches a little bit. So we have a brand new OEM full timing chain kit from Nissan. So we're gonna get the engine pulled out, put it on a table, and I'm gonna do all the timing stuff on this thing, and then while Garrett comes, he's gonna be able to wrap it while I work on the engine. All right, so we're making some progress on the R35. Garrett, what do you think?
I'm digging it.
Like
this
it?
color, yeah.
I mean, look at that. I mean, it's pretty serious transformation right there. You got the engine over there in the background. We did all the timing and stuff on it. Everything went pretty well. I cleaned up the covers because they were kind of a little bit dirty, but we're gonna put that thing back in here within the next day or so. But as of right now, we're just wrapping as we go, and it's turning out really good. So what are you doing right now? You're giving her the stretch, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. The door tapers a little bit wider than the material is naturally, so it's 60 inches wide. The door is about 61 at the back and I don't know, 29 at the front. If I thought ahead, I could have maybe put a little angle to it, a little cheese wedge kind of cut. At this point, we've got the material cut to length. It's cut down the middle, so we got 30 inches to deal with. And I'm using a straight edge here, basically a yardstick, and some heat. Basically, we're trying to put as much heat as we can across the entire panel so that we get good even stretch without any color stretch. We're not gonna lose any color, but I'm gonna gain that 1 inch that I need to make this door panel work. So I've got that ruler under the door edge there, and that'll be plenty to tuck underneath there and get a good wrapped edge.
It looks really good. So I'm kind of messing around with the rear bumper, and you can see right here, there's some spots that since this thing has been, obviously at one point in time it was shooting flames and doing some other stuff, so it burnt this little section of paint right there. So you got to do some wet sanding with it, otherwise you end up getting kind of trash in your stuff, and you almost have to prep this thing like it's a paint job. You gotta make sure there's no rock chips, that there's no little high spots or low spots, or even on this rear bumper, you can see that there's minor little things, but just did a quick little test piece of vinyl on there. That is just either a high spot. So essentially what we'll do is kind of wet sand this whole bumper like you're almost gonna polish the car, so that way you could wrap over it and it be as smooth as you possibly can. I didn't think that wrap was gonna be this intense as far as like prep and stuff. We've literally like wet sanded the whole car, you know, little dirt nibs and stuff out of the paint and stuff like that since the car was resprayed before I got it. It's been a lot of work, and I feel like we could have almost painted it. Yeah, but you can't get this color in paint though.
It's hard to do pearls like this. That adds a challenge. It's hard to do satins and flats in paint because, like, as you've mentioned in the past, whatever comes out of the gun, that's what it is. There's no fixing it. There's no polishing. It's got to be mint. And then the other thing is we're doing engine work while we're doing color on the body. So we kind of can't do that in paint. We're kind of doing two things at once that, you know, probably shouldn't be, but we're doing pretty good anyways.
Yeah, so we got the engine out of it. This thing's over here. And yeah, it's turning out really good. So this front bumper is a 2017 style front bumper, and we're just kind of testing some stuff. I'm deciding on whether or not we actually need to paint it just to see like how it sticks, if it's going to be okay with sticking this thing, or so we're kind of deciding if we're going to do a gloss black right here, if we're going to paint this, or, you know, actually wrap this to kind of be the body color, the rest of it. So figuring that stuff out, but I think we're going to paint the inside of this gloss black. I think that'll look really good, kind of give it that aggressive like mouth, and then wrap the rest of it. So I didn't know what to think when this color was in the box. I seen pictures of it online. It looked really cool, but you couldn't really tell, you know, like it was a weird color. I definitely kind of took a gamble on it. Now that I see the whole car, as soon as we seen the quarter panel in one, it's like, man, this thing's freaking turning out good. So more prep, more wrap, more things. We've been busy around here and haven't been filming a whole lot. There's been a lot of stuff to do, and I thought it was gonna go faster, and I thought it was gonna be like a super quick transformation, but here we are. But turned out good. So the engine is all back together. Basically timing chains, all that stuff is in. AC compressor, basically all the accessories, kind of double check some vacuum lines, cleaned a couple little things up, new oil filter, all that. So it's pretty much ready to go back in the car. Garrett just got done wrapping this front bumper. Need to do the little end pieces. We're gonna do those in basically a separate piece. This is gonna stay gloss black right there. I'm gonna go ahead and slide it up in here. Probably wipe this down real quick, and then should be good to go. All right, so the engine is back in the car. It looks good. Got it all cleaned up, got some things painted, cleaned up the bolts. We got new bolts in some of the areas, kind of filling up the power steering and stuff like that. It's really crazy how many pieces go to this car. It's simple, but it's complicated, especially like trying to clean everything up and make it look nice, and then like finalize it, you know, not just to like start it to hear it run, but to like, you know, set off the lift and take it for a drive. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try starting it. What do you think?
I love it.
Do you think it's gonna do something?
Of course, we got all the faith in the world. Nothing gonna catch fire back there?
But no throttle. It's better now. So I just had to disconnect the battery and reconnect it, but it seems like all the timing stuff that I did sounds smooth.
Nice and quiet.
So a little bit of, you know, smoke arising just from oily hands and stuff messing with it, but I mean, don't sound bad. There she is, pretty much complete, waiting on some stuff to drive for this little guy right here. we decided to just go ahead and hit that with some Plasti Dip. We still have a couple things that we need to hook on, like rear diffuser and all that other stuff. But as of right now, if you could probably tell, pretty late. It's almost 4 in the morning. It's like 3:30. But I want to go ahead and bleed the cooling system on here. The nice thing is I have this Astro Tools coolant bleeding set, so you can pull a vacuum on it or pressure test it. So I went ahead and I pressure tested it. I actually found a leak, which was on the bottom of the coolant bottle, on the degas bottle, because I didn't have the hose clamp on there, so added that. But the nice thing about these things is if you pull a vacuum on them, as you can see, we have almost what is that? That's 0.7 bar. As soon as and you stick this in your coolant jug, you can see the hoses are completely sucked shut. So all you have to do to essentially fill up the cooling system is you just turn this guy right here. I'll turn it kind of slow. It literally just like sucks this coolant jug down. It'll maintain a little bit of a vacuum. Saves you actually a lot of time from sitting here and like letting it gurgle, letting it burp, because this actually kind of makes it past the thermostat. So the car is pretty much done. I left the shop last night at basically 4 in the morning. We bled the cooling system and we actually took it for a quick little drive down the street today just to basically make sure everything was good, but also take some pictures and videos of this thing. But now I want to actually take it for a real drive with you guys. Some of the interior isn't back together because, you know, it's 4 in the morning and we just put the mirrors and stuff on it. I need to clean up some of the trim and stuff on the inside, so I want to take a little bit more time and actually final assemble it before we just smack it back together. But look at this thing. It looks so freaking sick. The wheels, we didn't even talk about the wheels. This is a company, it's called Speed by Design, and these are 20x10s in the front, and they're like the perfect offset for a stock body R35. They're 20x12 in the rear. This car has a little bit of camber in it, but with the alignment that's set up with it, but if it was actually fully straight, they would just like poke just maybe a little bit, but literally like the perfect offset. They look super sick, but it's a 6-spoke design. It has like the most concave and the most lip that you could fit. So I think they look super, super aggressive. But let's take this thing for a rip. It's been like far too long. The whole timing to here, let's fire it up. Listen to this.
Oh dude, it sounds so much better.
So I mean, before like you could hear like a little timing chain stuff. Right now, like it sounds like a sewing machine with just the injectors. So everything with the engine is super solid, and when we started it up last night, I didn't have one of the throttle bodies connected. So like that was it, and then it showed like a tranny code, but that's because it was like up in the air and doing some other stuff. But cleared the codes, drove it, everything's solid with it. I think we should take it for a drive.
Oh, she feels so smooth. So smooth.
I mean, it felt good before.
But there's a definite difference now.
Definitely like the mid-range power just feels a little bit more.
Well, you were barely touching it
like
there, and I felt it in the small of my back.
So this thing is full bolt-on. It has flex fuel kit, 3-inch intakes, 3-inch downpipes to a 4-inch titanium exhaust, and it's been tuned with EcuTech. It should make like a little over 600 horse, probably 650, around 600 torque, and has some upgraded stuff in the transmission already.
Oh, wow.
First and second gear, like the way that most people tune them, is there's not much boost in first and second gear, but in like third and fourth, like if you'll do a pull in first, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty quick. Second, okay, that's okay. Third gear, you're like, oh, there's a little more. You hit fourth and you're like, oh, there it is. It's cool, the boost by gear stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's been sitting for a couple months just because I wanted to do the timing stuff. I didn't want to keep driving it, and so it's literally sat. I've been ordering parts, kind of stacking things on the side, and we started working on it a little bit before Redneck got here, and then we just got busy with other stuff. But man, this thing's so good. I think this is gonna be the car that I like, the giveaway car that I'm probably gonna drive the most
Well, during
while
the
it's
giveaway,
going, because I'm gonna miss it. Like this thing was just so good. I bought this thing almost a year ago, daily drove it for about 6 months, and then kind of decided to park it after a little while. But This thing's so much fun to drive, especially with the way it looks now. It's gonna get so much attention. Oh, traction control kicked on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got all the R's. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh.
So this is on map 1.
How many maps does it have?
3. Well, we'll just do 3.
You torque these wheels?
Alright, so we just got done ripping this thing. It feels about as good as it looks. I mean, it feels really good. I love the way it looks. It just, everything about it just feels a little bit different now. I don't know why. It's smoother, it's quieter, the mid-range, the torque, there's no check engine light that pops up after like 10 minutes. So I'm pretty stoked on it. Again, this is Project Build giveaway number 13 right now. We're actually doing 30 times entries on the website for launch week only. So that is our highest entry multiplier for this whole entire giveaway. And we have a GTR box or a GTR bundle on the website. So that is $90, and with the 30 times entries, that's 2,700 entries. And with that box, we're actually doing 2,500 bonus entries. So over 5,000 entries for a chance to win this R35 GTR plus $10,000 cash. This is pretty much the only build video that we're gonna do with this car. We might kind of change a couple little things, like maybe some coilovers, maybe do a couple things like that, take it to the dyno in like other little snippets of videos, but we basically want to get back to regularly scheduled programming. I don't want during the giveaways, it should be like giveaway build, build, only on that car. I want to start working on the other stuff. Obviously, we got the 7.3 Mustang, and we have the K-Series all-wheel drive Civic, which I have
what you got for
I got a little special thing. It's actually at the machine shop right now, getting kind of looked over, but I'm pretty stoked. The yellow car is coming back. So yeah, if you guys click the link in the description, grab some entries. Appreciate you guys watching. See you later.